i-add balik sa exponent mo na siya unta kung gusto istorya kaganihan pero wala na dayon kay lagay akong phone. But now gusto na ko i-clarify balik ang idea sa exponents o ang mga rules sa exponent. So now let's start. We know exponent is an indicator kung we know na exponent kay indicator how many times ni may multiply ang isa ka number sa iyang kaugalingon. For example, you have a number 3 squared, then ito ang iyang indicator of how many times ni mo siya multiply sa iyang self. So here na kay 2, so sabihin multiply mo siya sa iyang self 2 times. So you have there a 3 times 3 1 2. Okay, that is with exponent. But na tayo mga rules sa exponent na wala na ako na-discuss last time ato nag-review ta about the exponent. And these are the rules in exponent. If you have the same base, m times m, and naka-ratio sa particular number, let's say x and y, then the answer would be mx plus y. So, imo buhaton kay imo i-add ang ilang exponents. Okay? So, for example, meron kang 2 raised to 2 times 2 raised to 4. Then, the answer here should be copy the base, 2, and then add their exponents, 2 plus 4. So, the answer is going to be 2 raised to 6. That is the number 1 rule. For another example, sa rule niya as the same base, if you multiply two numbers with exponents and the same sila base, then you will just add their exponents. For example, you have here 4 raised to 5 times 4 raised to 6. Then the answer is as simple as 4 raised to 5 plus 6 equals to 4 raised to 11. Okay? So that's it. As long as the same sila og base, then you will just add their number. Okay? So that is also the idea, no, kung bakit if you have a 3 times 3 equals 3 squared, because they have a imaginary number here, 1 imaginary exponent, and all you have to do is to 3 1 plus 1 is equals to 3 squared, and the answer is 3 squared. And kay ganiha sa atong definition of exponent, that the exponent is the indicator of how many times will you multiply a number by itself. So then ito siya. So ang ginangyari is parang naging reverse from that definition. Here nakuha tawag ganiha atong gibuhat is from 3 squared ato siyang gi-define as 3 times 3. And now here atong gi-define nga 3 times 3, the same sila og base, naka-raise sila sa power of 1. Atong gi-define, if you multiply them, you'll have to do is to add their respective exponents. Nakuha ra ba? So that's it. So first rule, the same base, all you have to do is to add their exponents. So for the next rule, if you have a different base, lahi na yung base, let's say m and n, pero naka-raise sila sa the same exponent, let's say x, then the answer here should be m times n raised to the power of x. Gagawin mo is these two base here, you will multiply them to each other, and the answer to that you will raise to the exponent that they have in common. Okay, so for example, you have 7 raised to 4 times 3 raised to 4. Then the answer here should be 7 times 3 raised to 4, which equals to 7 times 3 equals 21 raised to 4. That should be your answer here. This is fully equivalent to this according to the rule that if they have different base but they have the same exponent, then all you have to do is to multiply them against each other and then copy their exponents. Okay, another example. If you have, another example is 2 raised to 3 times 3 raised to 3. Small number lang. Kaya, so, kaya multiply with ako ang number. Sometimes we need calculator, sometimes do siya mamata-mata. And so, we have here 2 times 3. Oh, we have here 2 times 3, power of 3. 2 times 3 is equals to 6. And 6 to 3, that is our answer. 6 cube, 6 to the power of 3. Okay, but again, from sa atong gibuhat kaniha, we can reverse the following direction of what we just did, no? So as you notice there, we came from m n raised to the power of x. This is our conclusion kaniha, and now this is going to be our statement before our conclusion. And so we have a mn is raised to the power of x, no? So if you have a number here, which is a product of two or more factors, then makaingon ta nga it is simply equals to mx times nx, or simply equals to their factor. Ano daw? So gini ha, we have the what's like gini ha natay 12, I don't know, no, sa natay 12 raised to 4 kuno ha as example. Okay, nagkuhan pa ko record. Let's say natay 12 raised to 4, and we know that 12 is a product of pairs na 1 times 2 ay 1 times 12, and 2 times 6, and 4 times 3. So 12 is a product of this number, or these particular pairs of factor, no? So we can write it as 12. Ito siya, 12 is the product from here, 12 is the product from here. We can write this as the two factors raised to the particular exponent. So pwede natin siya isulat na ganun. So we have here 12, we can write this as 1 times 12 raised to the power 4. That's it. We can write it in another form. Again, we have a 12 raised to 4. We can write it as 1 times 12 raised to the power 4. We could also write it as 2 times 6. You could write it as 2 times 6. Open. Hello, Majay. Hello?
May snack dito.
Wait lang. Nag-tutor pa ko Majay. Okay. So, what is commercial? Again, our 12 pwede natin isulat as in its factor. So, pwede siya isulat as 2 times 6 raised to the power 4, and it is equivalent to this. We can write this as 3 times 4, and duha ka factor erase na to sa iyang exponent. Okay, so na-understand ra? Naintindihan ra ba ang concept? So the next rule when it comes to exponent, another example para muna nun, para mas maintindihan siya. So we have a 9. We have a 9 raised to 2. Oh. Very wrong. Okay, let's say we have a 9 raised to 2. Then, we know that the factors of 9 are 1 times 9. 1 times 9 will give us 9. 3 times 3. 3 times 3 will give us 9 also. So, again, from our rule, kaya gani ha, pwede natin isulat si 9 as 1 times 9 raised to 2 raised to 2. Pwede natin siya isulat as 3 times 3 raised to 2 times raised to 2. It is the same or equal to this one. Okay, so So another example, you have a 4 squared. We can write 4 squared as 2 times 2 raised to the power of 2. And it will give us a 2 squared times 2 squared. Nakuha na ba? If wala nakuha, please just message me kung wala kayo siya nakuha. Okay, so moving on to the next rule when it comes to exponent. If you have a number, say n raised to x, and you raise it again to another number, let's say y, then the answer then is you have a n x times y. Okay, so that's it. If you have a number nag-raise na sa exponent, then kining a number nga nag-raise na sa exponent, you raise pa jud to another exponent, then the answer should be that base raised to the first exponent times ang second exponent. So, for example, if you have 3 raised to 2, raise na po natin siya sa 3, then the answer here should be 3, 2 times 3 is equals to 3 raised to 6. Okay, is that understood? No? This is our first number in our exponent, then you raise up with just another number in our exponent, then according to the rule is that it will be equivalent, or it will be equal to the base here times the first exponent raised to the first exponent times their second exponent. So here, first exponent 2 times second exponent 3. So the answer here is 2 times 3 equals 6. So we have here 3 raised to 6 is equivalent of this 3 squared raised to 3. So for another more example, let's say you have a variable n raised to 2. Then you raise it again to 2. So it will be n 2 times 2, which will give us a n to the 4. Okay? Understood? That is the rule when you raise a number, or particular number. So here another exponent ideas, but radicals na. Since we have a problem ganyan kung bakit nga ba the square root of 16 is equals to 4. Although we know, when we say square root, ang hinahanap natin is what number, if we multiply it to itself, will result to 16. Or from tag square root of 9, ang hinahanap natin is what number, if you will multiply it to itself, will give us 9. If we have a square root of 4, what number, if you multiply it to itself, will give us 4. We know that this is 2 if you put it into calculator. If you have square root of 9, it will give us 3. No? But now I will give I hope makuha ang idea para mas remember ni mo ang pagkuha sa radicals in a different way rather than simply inputting it in your calculator. So here medyo taas-taas rin siyang pamaagi sa pangita o square root. Mas dali itong mag-input ka sa calculator, no? But here, let's say we have a radical number. Let's say square root of n, or square root of x na lang, no? And in every radical number, there is an indicator here, number. So if square root lang of x, then ang indicator here hindi na kailangan isulat, but the indicator here is 2. Okay, square root. If you have a cube root, 3 ang indicator of x. If we have the fourth root, then 4 ang indicator of x. If we have the fifth root, then 5 ang indicator, fifth root of x. Itong radicals natin, we can write it in a different form, no? Kaysa sa magsulat dito na square root or cube root of kining radical sign. Instead of writing this radical sign, we can write it as, let's say, meron tayong n, yan, again, ito. So again, ito pwede natin isulat as x raised to 1 over n. Okay? We can write it as x to 1 over n. We have here the radical. For example, namin kung 2 or the square root of x is equals to x raised to 1 half. This is equivalent to that. So, if we have cube root of x, then it is equivalent to x raised to 1/3. Okay? That's the idea here. You have here a fourth root of x, then it will be a x raised to 1/4. Pwede mo siyang isulat as ganyan. And from this idea, kukunin natin ang kanyang square root. So, here, let's say we have here our square root of 16, our original problem number 1 sa activity for lesson 2. So, your square root of 16 is equals to 16 raised to 1 half. Okay? From radicals to exponential form. Okay? You have your 16 raised to 1 half. But we know that 16 is equals to, or the factors from Kageniha. We have this rule. N raised to x is equals to m raised to x times n raised to x. Or simply, itong product of two factors. Pwede natin siyang i-break down. So, we have here 16. We know that, let me write it again, 16 raised to 1 half. We know that the factor of 16 are 1 times 16, 2 times 8, 4 times 4. We have this particular factor. But, kailangan natin gamitin dito is yung 4. Because we can see from here that it is what we are looking for. What number, when we multiply it to itself, will give us 16. And we have here the 4. It just simply multiplied to itself. It gives us 16 here. So, we will use the 4. I hope nakuha. 4 times 4 equals to 1 half. Okay? Raised to 1 half. And this from here, 4 times 4 raised to 1 half. We could get 4 to 1 half times 4 to the 1 half. Is this clear? No? I hope clear, yeah? Again, if you have some naglibog ka or wala na sabtan, just message me directly and I will try to explain it in a much simpler explanation. So here we have a 4 to the 1 half, 4 to the 1 half, and we have now the same base 4, multiply it to each other. So what you will have to do is to add their exponent. So we will have it here, add their exponent. You have a 4 raised to 1 half plus 1 half. Then it will give us a 4 raised to 2 over 2. And what is 2 over 2? 2 over 2 is simply 1. So we now have a 4 raised to 1, or simply the answer is 4. Okay? So, kuha na siya. Don't know. No. Okay, so for another example, you have a square root of 9. Then you could write square root of 9 as 9 to the 1 half. And from here, 9 to the 1 half, we can write it down from its factors. We have a 1 times 9, and then 3 times 3. And since what we are looking for are two factor, the same as like number multiplied by itself. So we will use the 3 times 3. 3 times 3 raised to 1 half. Okay? 3 times 3 raised to 1 half. And here, we can also have another approach. Hindi na muna natin i-distribute si 1 half dito sa kanilang dalawa, but rather i-multiply na natin silang dalawa agad. If we have a 3 times 3, it will give us a 3, 1 plus 1. 3, 1 plus 1 raised to the 1 half yan. Sorry. 3, 1 plus 1 kanang number raised to 1/2. If we have a 3 1 plus 1, then we could have a 3 1 plus 1 equals 2 raised to 1/2. And if we have a exponent, or we have a number with exponent raised to another exponent na po, then all we have to do is to multiply this first exponent and the second exponent. We have a 3 times 2 times 1/2. 3 times, or 3 raised to 2 times 1/2. 2 times 1/2, multiplication of fraction. 2 times 1/2. We know that any whole number, they have an imaginary denominator of 1. Or not imaginary, it really exists there. Unnecessary lang na isulat. We have here 2 times 1 equals 2. 1 times 2 equals 2. 2 divided by 2 is equals to 1. So, we know the answer. The answer for square root of 9 is equals to 9 to the 1/2, which is equals to 3 times 3 to the 1/2, which is equals to 3 squared to the 1/2. We can write this as 3 2 over 2 equals 3. Is that understood? So far that is the idea of exponent, the rules and exponent to radical, and that's how we get the square root of 9 from applying the idea sa rules sa exponent, and then atong gi-transform si radical sign to um, exponent. This is a radical number, gi-change nato to exponential number, and then we apply the rules sa exponents para makuha natin yung answer sa radical number, radical problem natin. So, is that understood? I hope naintindihan na siya. That's all. Is that all? So, I have one last additional information. If you have a square root, of number, sabihin natin 4, if you input it into your calculator, ngayon sa calculator, the answer is 2. The answer is 2. But in your classroom discussion, you will notice that you have a positive and negative 2. Okay? So, who is correct? The calculator ba? The calculator give us 2. Our discussions classroom will give us positive square root of 2. And from here, which 2 here? Asan dito yung tama? Nag-tutor pa kami. Nag-tutor pa kami. Okay. So, again, if you have here a square root of 4, if ibutan natin sa calculator, it will give us an answer of 2. Pero sa atong classroom discussion, we can get a positive and negative 2. So, which is the correct answer? Correct answer for me is this one. And this one has another meaning to itself. So, I don't think kinahanglan pa siya explain karon. I hope maybe next video. So that's it for exponents pansamantala. Okay, thank you for listening.